Real talk. You and I don't stand a chance of ever getting out of the corporate meat grinder if we want to keep our families fed. However, the probability is not zero. As you're going to see, it's just really low. Let's talk about base rates. Everyone's favorite statistical term that they've never heard of. What is it, you ask? Well, it's the statistical prevalence or frequency of something, whatever thing that you're trying to measure. For example, 15% of cars are red. Your odds of getting struck by lightning are 1 in 12,000. Or 97% of all billionaires are dipshit asshats. That's a fact. Look it up. Now let's apply this to you and I, us morons trying to escape the corporate meat grinder. So there's about 33 million business owners in America, USA. This is what we're trying to be. We're trying to be number 33,000,001. The total population of the US is about 350 million. Now, if we assume that the base rate of successfully making the transition from the corporate meat grinder to independent business owner is equal to this base rate of business owners in the United States, we get a base rate of 9%, which is 33 million divided by 350 million times 100 to make it a nice whole number. So to dumb this down even more, that is less than 1 in 100 or 9 in 100. So if you were to go out on the street and ask 100 randos if they were a business owner, only 9 of them would say yes. 9% is terrible odds. Casinos have better odds than that. And you know who always wins all the time? Casinos. You know who also wins all the time? Corporate America. And it's even worse if you consider that 1% of that 9% have never worked a job in their life. They never had to make the transition. They were Nepo babies, trust fund babies. They just inherited businesses or inherited wealth to where they've never had to work a job in their life and build their way out. And to pile on even more, we have these asshat billionaires who are trying to force Gen AI down our throat to try and replace us. And if you're burned out like me, it makes it hard justifying taking on essentially what is a part-time job to get your little venture off the ground. And this is what I struggle with. Like personally, is it worth it for me to invest my time and energy into what is essentially a part-time job on top of my full-time job, all for the sake of making money? Or should I just give in and do something fun and just accept the fact that I'm going to die face first into my keyboard? Now, while I truly believe that the best way to get out of corporate America without sacrificing your income is to build your way out, and more importantly, is to focus on doing work that you actually care about, that doesn't suck every ounce of soul out of your body every single day, every single week for years and years and years until you're just this dried up raisin of a husk that's left that's just nothing but bones that they're going to grind into cocaine powder so that they can snort it and have sex with strippers all night. The bottom line is the odds aren't in your favor. Remember that 9 in 100 thing from a few minutes ago? Remember that? But I also believe this is a war of attrition. The longer you can play this game, the greater chance you have of actually figuring out what your exit is. The longer you can keep building and creating and launching and publishing and marketing and doing all those things, the greater odds that success has of finding you. It's kind of like playing in a casino. If you sit down at a craps table, the longer you keep rolling the dice, the greater your chances of actually hitting a number that makes you money. In other words, goddamn fucking luck. You need some good old fashioned goddamn American luck to make this goddamn thing work. And that's 2 goddams, so you know it's true. You also need skills, not one, but multiple. And one of those skills needs to be marketing and sales. I know that sounds like two, but they go together like dick and balls or titties and nipples. So if you're doing this alone, you have to be both the dick and the balls. You also need talent, like something innate that's your unfair advantage. Like for me, I've always been a performer and I've always been comfortable on stage or in front of a camera. I actually got paid very little, mind you, to do improv and stand-up for like 3 years. And that's something that 99.9% of the population is absolutely terrified of. So you need something that's hard for others to replicate. Now, from what I've seen on YouTube, good looks goes a long way. So if you're good looking, start there. If not, keep looking. So the total equation looks something like this. Luck plus your unique skills plus your unique talent plus a great offer plus motivation multiplied by time divided by burnout equal your odds of success. I think the takeaway is this. The corporate meat grinder almost always wins. But if you can experiment to figure out the right combo of these variables that's going to work for you, and you can sustain that for long enough, you have a chance of winning. The only question left is, do you actually give this a serious go or not? Are you willing to sacrifice a chunk of your life for a 9% chance of doing work that you actually care about? Answer now in your answer books. I'm going to close with this. In an ideal world, these asshats who've amassed an ungodly amount of wealth would invest a significant chunk of that back into us to give us an opportunity to build our own wealth machines, to distribute the wealth a little bit more evenly. So, we wouldn't have to rely on luck and risk everything just to give this thing a go. They could increase the base rate. Imagine that, being able to quit your shitty job to go all in on a business idea that you have where your family is fed, all your bills are taken care of, your medical expenses are taken care of, and you have all the resources you need to actually build something successful so that you could focus all of your energy on that. Imagine that. It would probably make jobs better, more tolerable, a great option even. Now, put that wish in your left hand, then hold out your right and shit in it and see which one fills up first. Thanks for consuming. You're such a good little consumer person. And leave a comment. Let me know if you're willing to sacrifice a chunk of your life for a chance at doing work that you actually care about. And what is that work that you care about? Put that down there also. Write a note, write a novel. I read them all. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.